is on now.
Black Shadow.
It is now 9:20 here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we're back with Activated Mornings this morning. This is usually our open forum or talk to me segment, if you may, where callers call in and we talk about whatever is bothering, whatever is on your mind. The number to call is 457-9997. Also, the number to WhatsApp, where you can also place your WhatsApp calls, 457-9997. We're also live on Instagram and YouTube at WEFM99SVG. So what seems to be popular at this present moment is the flu, the influenza, the swine flu, whatever it is that is going around that has a number of persons going through it right now. I just had the press. Okay, here it is. Hold on 1 second, and I lost it.
What, you release?
Yes.
You didn't have it up there on the
Oh,
computer?
okay, there it is. No, I had one news story on it. But yeah, so there seem to be a number of flu related or similar to the flu going around right now, and a lot of persons have started wearing their masks again. A lot of persons are feeling under the weather. Unfortunately, Christal is one of those people. But Christal had said something. Okay, here we go. So Christal had said, I'm hoping in this we don't have to get to a state where we have to initiate the flu clinics again. And then in terms of isolation and work and prevent the spread, it's not a pandemic, but the virus is contagious, could take out an entire office. Would employers be okay with ill employees remaining home until they're 100% better, or come to work at 80% with the mask up? I wonder.
Well, I mean, the thing of it is that from the vantage point of an employer, yes, you may need that particular person who may not be feeling well. Of course, well, I would like to think all of your employees are valuable to your organization, but as I said, it makes no sense to me to have a sick employee come into work knowing that they are going to possibly infect the others. That's just going to take out several persons within your organization. So that doesn't make sense. And the other thing too is that I think having gone through the pandemic as well, workplaces, work environments have found a way to, well, depending on what the job is, right? Depending on what the job is and depending on what the business is. But persons have learned how to work remotely. So for those who may be able to do so, you might not be totally bedridden, but if you feel that you have these symptoms and you can work from home, then maybe in some of these cases the pandemic was horrible, but there are things that we have been able to take away from it in terms of the changing look of what a workspace is or a workplace is, because you can actually have remote work, so those who can work remotely.
No, I'm coming from where Taiwan was they practiced zero COVID strategy as opposed to living with COVID for a very long time. So I'm used to seeing the measures in place. I'm used to prevention better than cure type environment where they're quick to tell you to stay at home. The social distancing was very serious, and they just really tried their best to ensure that there was zero cases of COVID generally. Do I think that would be as effective here? Or would it make sense? Probably not. But if we're able to have the information and we know exactly how the flu is spread, and wearing mask is a productive preventative measure, then maybe we would still be able to have persons come in and function as an office physically.
Yeah, and you know yourself as well too. I mean, you feel it coming on. One of the things that is important is not to overexert yourself. So if you feel it coming on, if you're a person who takes medication or medicines to keep it at bay or to help to cope with it, then do so. I'm the type of person who I generally don't take anything. I believe in the whole method of closing up all your windows, putting on extra layers of clothing, going under a sheet and sweating it out. That's the way which I deal with a cold. Because I don't know, it's not that I'm against medicine or medication, but sometimes I think that yeah, I try not to put too much into my system, right? So I try the old fashioned way of just sweating it out. But
I don't believe in this new thing we have where there's a pill for everything, but the symptoms, it comes with a lot of symptoms, so you need pills for those to combat those symptoms. That don't make no sense. You have a cold, try Lucozade. Well, I don't know if Lucozade is a real thing, but no, Lucozade is an energy
it's
drink.
a drink. Yeah,
Yes.
it's a drink. That's why you have
Okay.
me one, and I think it's
So,
some young people take.
let me make up something. Feeling down, you have a cold, try Alpazez. Alpazez symptoms are cold, flu, death.
Death is just
Like, I don't need.
when the side effect is always death, is like, what's the
Yeah,
point?
I don't need all of that. I don't need all of that. But I'm with you. I am get to my Albasoil or whatever it is that I need. Put it in the hot water and cover myself with a sheet and sweat that right out. My mother was saying everybody around me getting COVID, and it was in winter. And I just have my garlic and my onions, and I ready. That's the battle I fighting. I don't need no vaccine. I don't need none of that. I just need herbs, and I good. I understand.
The thing is
I
that
understand.
that whole COVID thing missed me completely, thankfully. And the first time in about 4 years I got a flu was this year, and I blame my niece. Because my niece came to stay with me, and I don't know what happened, and all of a sudden I got sick. We both of us got sick. And I was there like, boy, I was good all this time, but 4 years, nothing happened to me. And then bam, I got this thing, So this is why anybody who comes across to me right now, I am making you sign up for the cross. Stay away from me. Even Christal, I told her on Tuesday, do not come near me.
Listen, I am one of those paranoid people. I generally don't get sick. So when I remember, I will never forget when COVID just started, I was in Vietnam. And I am looking at everybody. Don't cough around me. Don't clear your throat. Nothing. When I see in the bathroom, wash your hands. I mean, wash your hands regardless. But when I see you, make sure I could see you washing your hands. I ain't playing that. I am on the plane. And if I hear, hey, what's that? We're going on. I was not playing that. And then in the beginning, persons weren't taking COVID serious. So when I got back to Taiwan, my girlfriend at the time, she was outside, still going to bars. Listen, I don't know if you know about the sprays, where the big container where it just sprays repeatedly. It's not just a well, I had one of those. So anytime she walk in my apartment, spray down, bring a change of clothes, because you're bringing the inside clothes, your COVID clothes inside my clean COVID-free apartment. I want no paranoid people. I wasn't playing that.
Well, that's interesting, because I actually wasn't. I think what happened that threw me off with COVID is when I have to hear what's preventing the spread of it, right? When you had to come and tell me about wash your hands and do this and do that, the little preschool things that you learn, like I did not take it.
You be surprised.
No, I remember we said this before, and you told me the same thing. I'd be surprised. What I take for granted as being normal health practices, hygiene practices, other people don't. It just knock you out. But yes, I think I was one of those persons who at the beginning I didn't take it that seriously. But of course, when you hear people falling ill, and when you have to hear of what other people are going through, not just dying, but going through in terms of the symptoms that they developed. It was just, but
yeah. So I was just about to say, call and share your experiences. Let us know what your thoughts are on the topic. Number to call 457-9997. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Good morning. You just mentioned something about a plane and coughing, something like that on the plane.
Yes, Ari was.
Yeah, that's my
uh-huh.
experience a few years ago.
What was that? Repeat it for me. Let me
No,
hear.
I was just saying I was very paranoid during the COVID period. So when I heard persons next to me, and I was traveling at the time, and I heard someone on a plane cough or clear their throat, immediately I have to ask, what's going on there? What's happening there?
So last year I was on a 7-hour flight from JFK to Heathrow in London, and person behind me, one person behind me is coughing, another person in front of me coughing a lot, and nobody like they concerned about it. I had my mask on, I put the mask on, and no other people didn't have their mask on, and everybody was like everything is normal. You know, I was saying if that was a year earlier, man, people would all run off the plane.
Yeah.
I would have been one of them. I would have been God. I wasn't playing that with
But I'm
COVID
saying
boy.
that person those people should I walk with a mask when I may not put it on, but I walk with a mask when I travel, in case, but people should have been having their masks on when after these people coughing, they should have, if they don't have a mask, they probably should have see if the flight attendant have a mask and put it on.
But you know
But
what's
everybody
interesting?
was like, don't care.
Even before COVID, once you have a cold, there's a practice in Taiwan to wear a mask.
I guess because they've had similar
I would if I have a cough.
Yeah. All right.
We wear masks here during the winter. It's cold.
Right.
Some people wear masks too when it's too cold. Yeah, it's too.
Yeah.
All right. Later.
Thanks.
That winter ain't nice on your face at all. Sometimes that winter breeze, boy, it hits you like a ton of bricks. And worse when it's snowing or when it raining, boy. The worst thing is in winter when it raining. Thank God St. Vincent and Grenadines have 2 seasons, dry and wet, because sometimes you remember that. I remember the first time I experienced winter. There were inches of snow. And the breeze that hit my face felt like a slap. It was a heavy piece of breeze. It was not nice. I like winter, but not them times.
But I am now starting. Well, at least last night I felt the bit of the Christmas breeze to the point where I almost wanted to close in the window. I don't know. It's like I find that this December, January has been the warmest that I've ever felt in Vinci for since ever. Yeah, because normally in December at least you start to close up the windows, and that kind of, well, for me I close off my windows. Sleep in something that's a little bit thicker, but I don't know, it's been really warm for this past Christmas season. But last night it felt a little bit different. So yeah. All right, so Tony is saying I'm Princess Ari. wait, Tony, correct yourself here. How is it Princess Reliza and King Ari? So why am I not Queen Reliza and King Ari? But anyhow, so Tony is saying good morning to us. He's saying St. Lucia's in the house, and he wants to pick up the Most High crew in St. Vincent and the Grenadines from Georgetown. All right, so Most High crew.
Okay.
All right, good morning. And
I hope Most High crew are in the mask.
And we neglected to mention shout out and Joshua earlier this morning. So good morning to you guys, our regular listeners and regular contributors. Yeah, so I don't know.
The number to call is 4579997, also the number to WhatsApp. But I think we could function. Like, speaking about us here at WEFM, I think we could function with just wearing masks. And we also have the option to go live. To go live remotely. So we should be okay.
Yeah, but everybody has to know. Departments or workplaces would already have gone through the pandemic, so they should know how best to cope at this time. Hi, caller, morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. This is Kenton Chancellor. I just heard you guys were speaking about the weather or the climatic conditions, and I was saying that St. Vincent and Grenadines has 2 seasons. But based on what the climatologists from CIMH, which is the Regional Climate Agency, are saying, well, the last forum I attended, they say we need to amend that to say we have like 5 seasons.
Oh, really?
I know the rainy season, dry season, the heat season, cool season, and there's another one that I can't exactly remember. And like Rolisa was saying, there's definitely a period of the year, which should be this period, when it's a lot cooler. But for like November, December, I was asking the same questions about, when am I going to stop putting on my fan at night and, and still feel comfortable, because, it has been incredibly hot. It's proven that 2023 has been one of the hottest years on record, and based on what the figures that the Minister of Finance gave in his budget yesterday, Monday, it was an especially hot year for our parents and Ghanaians, as is the case all across the world. And with that comes a lot of challenges and considerations, obviously for agriculture, excuse me, because with decreased rainfall, production levels might be lower, which raises questions of irrigation and additional costs, and then competitiveness for agricultural produce. But one of the things that I think is often overlooked is the impact of heat on vulnerable people, especially like the aged. Those people who spend time at home, most of the time maybe confined to 1 or 2 rooms in the house. And we need to pay a lot of attention to like our elderly folks. My grandmother did something yet, and I went to her house a few weeks ago, and I was asking her, how is it impacting her? Because sometimes the older folks, because they don't move around as much, they don't consume as much water, and there is a possibility that they could become dehydrated. And even those of us from home who are talking about, we have to pay attention to that. If we're out in the sun, obviously we're going to lose a lot of liquid through perspiration. But also if you're in an air-conditioned environment, that's one of the things that people often don't remember. Air conditioning also dries you out a lot. So the point I'm making essentially is that this issue of the changing weather patterns, it is something to which we have to pay a lot of attention. I know climate change is not a sexy topic. It's one of those subjects that I cover for my own website, and mostly so for regional and international media that pays a lot more attention to this. But, climate change affects us in a lot of ways that we don't immediately think, especially like things like food prices and like energy costs. But it's the cost of keeping ourselves cool, or shipping, or refrigeration. Another way, for instance, energy. We have some hydro plants here, and during the rainy season, we would expect that we would generate more, proportionally more energy from our hydro plants during the rainy season. But if we're getting less rain during the rainy season, then the hydropower plants can produce less electricity, which means that we have to use more fossil fuel, which contributes to the same climate change that we are trying to fight.
Right.
But with more sunlight days and more sunshine, there's a possibility that we can generate more solar energy. So there are a lot of threats as far as climate change is concerned, but there's a lot of opportunities, and like I said, it's not a sexy topic, but it's something that we really need to consider, because at the risk of repeating myself, it affects us in a lot more ways than immediately obvious. That's what I wanted to say.
Kenton, before you leave, like you're someone that you're always in different places, whether it's press conference or you're covering trending or important news. Are you concerned with the rise in the influenza and the different fevers or flus going around currently?
Well, I heard people talking about it quite a bit. I mean, I'm a pretty healthy person, but the only issue I have is that I have a tendency to catch colds. Fortunately, this flu season, I haven't had a cough or a cold, but I heard a lot of people talking about this really nasty flu that is going around. And I mean, like somebody who goes to the gym and all of that, I like when I saw the figures yesterday, I was a little concerned. Should I start wearing a mask? What additional precautions should I take when going to the gym? Because the flu is a pretty mild illness, but the flu also kills people who are vulnerable, and especially in temperate countries, as you were speaking about the other day. The flu, it could be potentially dangerous. And I think in light of what is happening, and every flu season, we should take the precautions necessary. If you're traveling in public transportation, if you're using spaces that a lot of people use, or if you're in close proximity to a lot of people, you have to take precautions. I hope I don't get it, because you know, when you get the flu, it's loss of productivity, because sometimes you just feel so miserable, and the muscle ache is the part that I find most difficult to deal with, and then there's the lethargy where you don't have the energy to do anything. But I did hear quite a few people talk about it. I heard Luke Bowie on his show. He spoke about it. He said he didn't have a lot of pain. But he just said he just didn't feel like doing anything. He just stayed in bed all the time. So I've heard quite a few people talking about the nasty flu that is going around, and you know, it is the flu season. So I think people should take the necessary precautions. Thankfully, the Ministry of Health did issue a bulletin yesterday to advise on it. So I hope that people follow the information that is given there.
Okay. Thanks for joining us this morning.
And hope you guys don't get it either.
I definitely hope I don't get it.
Definitely not get it.
It seems Christal is a victim of one of whatever is going around. So she's recovering.
I hope she recovers soon.
Same here.
Yeah, flu is generally mild, but it's nasty. You just lose a lot of, you know. And for somebody who's like me, who's self-employed, you know, whatever it happens.
Is that you hit the nail there on the head, Kenton?
Yep, indeed. Self-employed people.
All right.
All right, then, folks. Enjoy your day.
Same too.
WEFM, the new fresh sound.